welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 5, episode number 10. Tonight's a songs edition, Andy.
Yes.
My name's Dan. This is Andy. We got a special guest tonight to talk about all this stuff. And
Yes.
Andy, go ahead and introduce our friend Brad.
Brad Bodeker here with us tonight. Usually we talk local music stuff, the cover bands, the tribute bands. It's local musicians. And Brad, he kind of falls in that category somewhere. Local musician.
I haven't found my niche yet, but yeah, I go wherever I'm needed.
Yes.
So do you guys, chat about the books, the music? Where do you want to start off with? And I'll just hide my image here and let you guys chat away.
All right. Well, we'll start the music part. I know Brad has played at some establishments, local establishments in the past.
Yeah.
And you also play on your YouTube or your Facebook channel and YouTube channel every now and then. You kind of.
Yeah, on Tuesday nights we do tunes for Tuesday. Basically, it was just it was kind of a way for me to just practice, pick up new songs, and just play them, and just kind of gain the confidence back that I had last summer. So,
are these songs you've written or cover songs?
These are all cover songs. Yeah, I have not. I've not released my own songs on the public as of yet. Yeah, so.
All right. So that's cool. That's cool. Now, now they can find you on Facebook or YouTube, or where would they hear this on Tuesdays?
On both. On Tuesday, Tunes for Tuesday is on it's on my Facebook page called Beehive Productions. That's at facebook.com/King BEE Radley / and my YouTube channel is YouTube / Bradley Bodeker. So,
and we'll put that all in the blah 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 down below there.
All right.
And then you've also written a couple books. 2 books or 3?
9.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, 9.
I've read 2 or 3 of them. Okay.
I started out writing poetry, and somebody told me you should publish that stuff. So I published it, and I mean it sold like poetry sells, which it doesn't. But I got it out there, and I got to learn some stuff about self-publishing, and then kind of my first love in writing was horror books, Stephen King, Clive Barker, that type of stuff. So I started writing
Hellraiser.
Yeah. So, most of my books are horror genre. I've got a few out there that are poetry. I wrote one. I was going through kind of a rough time. I lost my grandmother and my mother and my dog. I was like a pickup truck short of a country song.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of times in bars, and I wrote a lot of stuff on napkins. And I decided I should publish the stuff I've got on these napkins. So I published a book called Bar Napkin Rants. And that one has actually been my bestseller so far.
That's the one we got at the class reunion.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that night. Yeah.
So writing, you got the music, and then you read the books online on certain nights too?
Yeah, so what I've been doing is I've been trying to not so much become an influencer, but I just wanted to get the word out there. And I have a lot of friends that hate reading. And they said, I'd love to get your book, but I don't read. So I said, okay. They said, you should make an audiobook. So I looked into doing audiobooks, and I thought, well, to practice, I'll just start reading my books online. And it just kind of took off, and I've got an actually pretty decent audience watching and listening to that. And my non-reading friends have actually loved it because they listen to it at work now. So
it's cheaper than doing the whole book on tape. They can just do a chapter or so every week online. And
right, yeah. Right now I've got on Wednesday nights I do a segment called the Apocalypse Hump Day.
Yep.
And I've read all the short stories that I've had dealing with some type of apocalyptic scenario. And then I had published in 2012, I published a zombie apocalypse novel. And so that's what we're doing now is we're in the zombie apocalypse, and I'm doing a chapter a week on Wednesday nights. So
Nice.
yeah.
That's kind of cool. Are you ever going to do like the reading at a public reading somewhere for it, or book signings for stuff like that?
So I have a friend and another fellow classmate that she is really good at. She's an author, a published author. She's published a couple books, Amy Hallberg, and I went to both her book release parties, and they were amazing. And I'm like, I want to do something like that. I kind of missed the boat on the bar napkin rants. I should have had the release party at the bar I wrote those at.
Yeah.
That would have been really good. But maybe the anniversary party of that book being published. But so I'm working on a couple of novels right now, and I really would like to do a release party. So I'm going to talk to her. I'm actually meeting with her this weekend, and we're going to talk about what direction to go with the book, and also how to release it and market it. So
I just find it amazing that not only one but two people from Prior Lake could write books that were in the same graduating class. I mean, you hear like two football players from the same class, or here's two authors from the same class. That's kind of cool.
There's actually three of us.
Geez, three.
Yeah, there's one. She's pretty successful.
Same graduating class.
Yeah, and she writes the romance novels. And
not much different than what you write. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Different point of view.
Yeah. And really the whole horror genre is more of a it's more of just a writing release. When I write, I usually got an idea in my head and I'm going with it, and then another idea pops in. I'm like, crap. So I'll save that and then start a new book. And then I have all these manuscripts floating around on my computer. Yeah, so it just depends on what my headspace is at. So
now, do you do this the writings? Do you do them? Can people get the book just online also, or do you have to go like order from like Amazon Books or?
Yeah, they're available on Amazon, and I also looked on Barnes and Noble online, and my books are also available there, which was kind of a cool surprise. But yeah, so Amazon, really any online book retailer, you can order the book. So it's an on-demand book. So when you order it, then they publish it and send it to you. So that's how
can they
that
get
works.
it just as the online version, like what are those books?
The ebooks.
Ebooks, yeah.
Yes. Yep.
That's an option too. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're fairly cheap. If you belong to Kindle Unlimited, you can really get any of my books for free and read them for free. So yeah.
Now the music part, you said you do cover songs. Have you ever thought of recording those, and doing a album or something like that, or a Spotify channel of your songs?
I actually did. I started on SoundCloud, and and I've got a friend. Well, I had a friend. He had passed away, but he was mixing some of these songs for me. So he was adding drums, and he was doing some lead parts for me. I would do some harmonica on there, and then we were getting it all mixed together. But yeah, that kind of fell through. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that. I've been trying to form a band out here, and it doesn't seem like a whole lot of people want to be in a band. So I've just been doing a lot of acoustic work at the bars. There's a gal I used to play with. We called ourselves Kith and Kin. And we would usually play most of the local bars around here. And then I started playing with a guy named Mike Burns. And we've been playing when we play bike night every other Wednesday down in Lafayette. And there's a new venue out in Gibbon. It's not that new. They've been around for a couple of years, but it's a brewery, a microbrewery called Winthrop. And he has every Thursday he's got local talent come out and play, and I've played there a few times. And now he's got he bought the bank next door and turned that into a actual big music venue with a stage and all the bells and whistles out there. So that's a pretty cool place to play as well.
Very nice, very nice. Now, so you got the music stuff going.
Yeah.
You got the book stuff going. You have the readings of those going.
Yeah.
You find time for anything else in your life? I mean, Sunday mornings, you got coffee with friends. We see the pictures on Facebook with that.
I really haven't done that in a really long time. Yeah, but
You should
yeah.
make a picture book of all those pictures that people have sent in one time. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I did actually think about that. There's a lot of things, a lot of stuff that came up, like texts from my ex-wife. Somebody told me I should publish it as a book, but I thought, no, I better not, because I don't want our kids reading that stuff. But
Well, know that you'll come after you, get half the money on that too.
right, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought about that. I also do I do these drawings. I try to do like singers that have passed on, but I do their portrait, and everything's all made up from the lyrics of their songs.
Okay.
So I'm working on Tom Petty right now. I've done Prince, and who's the gal that played Dorothy in Wizard of Oz? Her name escapes me.
Jody or Judy
Garland. Judy Garland.
Minnesota gal.
Yeah. I also did Chris Cornell. That was actually my first one I did. But I started doing that because I did a Robert De Niro portrait for art school that I was going to, and I did it made up of all the famous lines that he has in movies, and that turned out really well. So then my sister asked me, she wanted a portrait of Chris Cornell and when he had died, and so I started drawing it, and then I'm like, oh, I should put his lyrics in there. So I did that, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I sent it to her, and then she put it on Facebook, and everybody's like, hey, can you do this guy? Can you do that guy? And I said, well, I should probably make a series out of this. So yeah, I do that in my spare time that I don't have.
If you did off their famous quotes, that Samuel L. Jackson one would be pretty fun when he dies.
I would have to
That'd be a pretty easy one to do.
Yeah, I just use a bunch of like
Different
number
fonts,
signs.
maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This would be a pretty easy one to do.
It would be. Yeah, there'd be a lot of swear words in that one.
That'd be a fun one to do. Now, getting back to the book ones here, your readings, did that start with a quick following right away, or did it kind of slowly catch up? Like,
that slowly caught up. It was all based on, like, I've been trying to figure all of this out, and was like, oh, you have to invite people to come and watch your live stream. I didn't know that. So then I started, inviting people, and then then I thought, oh, well, I wonder if I can like save these videos that I do of these readings and put them on YouTube as well. So I did that, and then I'm like, oh, you can make these little reels of your broadcast. Maybe I could put those on Instagram and YouTube or TikTok.
Yeah.
So then that's kind of how it started, and then my audience started getting higher and higher. So, but
yeah, when we started this, it's all your buddies at first.
Right.
It's like the old chip, a friend of a friend. They tell their friends, and so on and so on. It takes a little while, but it grows.
Yeah. It's kind of the frustrating thing. I've got a friend that I work with, and he's very astute about how all this technology works, and he's actually made a logo for Beehive Productions, which is really cool. I'm going to be using that probably in the next week, but he had told me about different ways to actually make money on these different videos, and I'm like going, yes, but you also need so many subscribers,
Right.
before you can start doing the advertising and making a little cash on the side. And he goes, well, how hard is it for your friends and family to just click a button? And I said, well, evidently it's kind of hard because
Yeah.
it's not happening.
Only
You've
8 of
got
them know how, and
right. Yeah. I think I've got something like 900 something friends on Facebook, and I've asked all of them. I said, hey, can you just shoot over the YouTube channel and just click like on there? And I got 22 people,
yeah,
over 1,000 views, but
right.
22 subscribers.
And that's how we started. Here, big corporate secret. Friend of ours, she had a little. They sold she sold like jewelry and fingernail stuff and that online, and she'd put her stuff up on Facebook. And I told her, I said, look, you like my junk, I'll like your junk. We'll go from there. And it's kind of snowballed from that. Every now and then we'd share each other's posts, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
And you can't always trust your friends and family who like your stuff, Brad. I'll tell you the story right now. I'll be sitting here with my lovely bride in the other room,
Mm-hmm.
do a sports podcast. She goes, hey, did you hear about this? I just read this post. I go, honey, I posted that 3 days ago. So just letting you know, you're going to have a friend come to you going, I heard this guy reading the book. Yeah, that was me. So you're going to just be ready for that to come up to you sometime,
Well, I've my girlfriend has asked, like, oh, how many subscribers do you have now? How many subscribers do you have? And I'd tell her, and she's like, oh, well, hopefully you get more. And then I looked, I think it was last week.
She's not one of them.
She eventually liked and subscribed to my YouTube page. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, I got a new one today, honey.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, wait, it's you. Yeah. So
you feel my pain now. You know how it goes.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of like, I look at it. It's like when I was first going out there playing music. I did have that idea that I wanted to be a rock star someday, and especially out of high school when I joined a few bands, and we opened for some pretty cool local bands, and I was thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna make it, but like getting people that to come to your show, impossible sometimes, And so, I mean, eventually down the road, it got to be where, I'm not in this to be a rock star. I'm not in this to make money. I'm just playing because I love to play, and then it's doing a show is a lot easier that way, thinking that
Yeah.
instead of thinking, well, why isn't anybody dancing or whatever? So,
yeah, that's what it is. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Keeps you off the streets and doing other dumb stuff, So
Right. Well, most of the time it did. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
most that's the idea anyway.
yeah, there's been a couple of incidences when I was in college, I used to go out and busk in the old market for money. I was a poor art student, and I can't tell you how many times I played Guns N' Roses Patience over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, do you know any other songs? I'm like, this is the only song I know all the way through.
That's right. Unless you guys all do a sing along, I'll play it and you all sing,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
Now you said you played at the bars out there. You're out in the Winstead area?
Winthrop.
Winthrop area? I'm sorry. Because you mentioned Gibbon and all that stuff up there.
Yeah.
Out in that area. West here, us West folk.
Yeah. Gaylord, Winthrop area. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So one more time, if you want to plug your social media sites, and again, we'll put those down in the description below too, if they're not writing down fast enough here.
Yeah. So the Facebook page is Beehive Productions, which is just the letter B period Productions. That's at facebook.com/King BEE Radley RADLEY /, and My YouTube channel is youtube.com/Bradley Bodeker. I'm off of X or Twitter or whatever the heck
Yeah.
it's called, just because it's a disaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also on TikTok and Instagram, and my handle on those two is Meximo70.
Yes.
MEXIMO70. And how I came up with that was I'm Maori by descent, indigenous peoples of New Zealand. And I had a hard time explaining to people what a Maori was. So I just came up with the story that I'm half Mexican, half Eskimo. And so I'm a Meximo.
You were kind of like Fez before he was Fez on that 70s show.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I just said my mom was the Mexican princess that was a singer on a cruise line and was in Alaska and went ashore and fell in love with this Inuit guy. And 9 months later, here I am.
And there's still a handful of people from high school that still believe that story.
Yeah, exactly. So
Let's not ruin it for them now. Spoiler
right.
alert.
Yeah. Yes.
We won't forward this to them. We won't tag them in it.
Now, Brad, what do you for the listeners out there? What do you play for as far as instruments on stage?
I play guitar and I also play harmonica.
Okay.
So I wish I played drums, but I tried a couple times, but it's just too much going on in front of you that I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do it.
Okay.
Too easy to get hurt doing that.
Right. Yeah.
And how did you like? You got into Chris Cornell. It sounds like Soundgarden. I'm a big fan as well. What got you into liking him?
I just really love his voice. His voice is amazing. It's not like anybody else's. And the lyrics to his song. That's usually what attracts me to music is the lyrics. Like there's Chris Cornell. There's another artist called the White Buffalo. That guy's an amazing songwriter. I just kind of discovered him in the last year, and I can't stop listening to him. But Johnny Cash writes a lovely song. You know,
Johnny Cash is good.
Waylon
we
Jennings,
like Johnny here.
Willie.
You just wait till February and you'll find out how much we like Johnny Cash on this show.
Yeah, and
we got a little something special for February for Johnny. So
oh, sweet, I'll check that out.
He did his last 5 albums. He did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we happen to have 5 Thursdays in February, so we're doing one every Thursday in February.
Oh, nice.
Our album review. So
yeah, I featured him on Tunes for Tuesday a while back. And I did a few of his songs, and the next day at work, my friend came up to me and he goes, I can't look at you now and not think Johnny Cash every time you open your mouth.
Should go with a black shirt, black jeans, it's all black, just
right. Yeah.
mess with them a little bit,
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna try to do Waylon Jennings this Tuesday.
Okay.
We'll see how that works.
All right.
So.
All right. That's all I got for you, Brad. I just appreciate you being on.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me here.
We'll have you on again in the future sometime after the summer. See how the 10th book goes and your first album and everything else is all out there.
Right.
Your pictures and stuff like that.
And
again, so we'll put all the social media stuff in there, and we'll send you a copy of this to send to your 9 friends you have, and we'll go.
Awesome, man. I think I lost one of those friends, so it's down to 7 now. But
he hit the wrong button accidentally. He hit the like and hit unlike or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
maybe he wasn't a Johnny Cash fan. You never know.
We've got the image of your book up there for the listeners and the viewers here on the show as the Bar Napkin Rants, the image of the book there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got that up there now so people knows what it looks like if they go online and get it or in a bookstore. Pretty cool. Good stuff. I'm looking forward to reading that as well as you're going through all those trying times, jotting down the stuff on the napkins and Very good. It was probably very therapeutic to go through that whole process.
Very much so. Yeah, it was all cathartic. Yeah, Andy might borrow it to you if you
Yeah.
ask
Oh,
him nicely.
Yes. I'm a
that's
nice guy. I
awesome.
could bring it over
That's
one time.
that's good stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a name for the book, and I was drinking that Jack Coke right there,
Yeah.
and then I put bar napkin rants, and I go, holy crap, that's
Yeah,
the cover
that's
right
it.
here. So
That's a great name. Yes.
That's how those great ones get, just accidentally you scribble something down, and that's how the good
right.
names come out.
Yeah, that was my Bukowski moment right there.
That's
Yes.
right. Wonderful.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Brad, for being on the show. I'd like to have you on again in the future. Once again, this is season 5, episode 10. Special guest Bradley Bodeker joining us here today. Thanks again for your time, Brad.
All
Thanks,
right.
Brad.
Thank
Talk
you
to you later.
guys. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Dan. Nice to
Appreciate
meet
it.
you.
Awesome.